From Rochester, New York, home of the garbage plate and nothing else, this is FC3 Monkey Business, your one-stop shop for everything geeky. It is starring Julie Dittori, Tanya Mattress, and Chris Frank. In stunning Technicolor, now your host, Chris Frank.
Oh my God.
That is the sexiest voice ever. That man must be, he's supposed to be a professional. That dude's
nutcase.
That dude's pro. He's pro. Damn it. I love that one.
President Trump wants him out of the country. No, he loves him.
Well, yeah. Is it a Tuesday?
They're best friends.
If you, dear listener, want to record one of those for us, let us know, and we would be happy to collect those because I think this is just the coolest idea ever is to have that
for a
the
small
new entry.
fee.
For a small fee, a donation to the company, you too can be the opening to a podcast. So that's cool. Hi, guys.
You two's going to open the podcast?
Yeah, we got Bono and everything.
That'd be awesome.
That would be amazing.
With or without him.
He lives in mysterious ways.
You know, I still haven't found what I'm looking for.
Have some pride.
I think we're raised by wolves.
Huh?
That's a new one.
She just went new. She
went
new
new.
YouTube music
Wow.
on that one.
That's the one that
You
was.
have to climb Jacob's ladder to get to that sucker, but
That was the one that was dropped to all Apple customers.
yeah.
It's still taking up space on my phone.
Yeah, me too. The innocence, the whatever,
Something like that.
raised by wolves.
He's still at it though,
Yep.
with The Edge and Eric Clayton,
Adam Clayton.
Adam Clayton,
And the guy whose name I'm forgetting. I'm
The
blanking.
drummer.
Oh, Larry Mullins Jr.
Larry Mullins Jr.
Thank you for reminding me of his.
the drummer.
Yeah, once you said that.
Yeah,
Got it.
Volcano, Cedarwood Road, Sleep Like a Baby Tonight. And I can't get him off my freaking phone.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi.
Hi, Ann.
Yo.
Hi, Billy.
Hi.
So she's going to go ahead and perseverate over you two at the moment. We're going to let her do that. How's everybody doing this week?
Good.
We're good.
Yeah.
Finally got around to seeing a couple movies.
Nice. Which ones?
Saw Godzilla. King of
Yeah.
Monsters.
Very cool.
No interest in that one.
It's.
I got total interest in that one.
I like that one, except I wanted more monsters fighting and less people talking.
Yeah, they tried to make it more of a drama with monsters.
I mean, the people in it are fine. It's a good cast. Kyle Chandler, Bradley Whitford's in it.
Right.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie Bobby Brown. Fine, but their only reason for being there is to explain why there are monsters and why they're fighting.
Yes.
They could have done that quicker and just got right to the monsters fighting.
The best review I heard was it was big, it was dumb, and it was gorgeous.
Yeah. King Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, is my favorite of the monsters.
Well,
and
he's
he
been
was-
the nemesis of Godzilla all along, hasn't since they first
Since
introduced
the
the character in
60s,
the
yeah.
60s. Yeah, he's been like the Godzilla
So
killer.
I was very happy to see King Ghidorah and could have used even more of him. And
This is just something that I just don't understand is the Godzilla movies.
We can watch the Godzilla movies and play the Godzilla game.
Which is?
Every time Godzilla goes, you take a shot.
Nice.
Billy's
You
not
will be
participating in
I
that.
don't drink.
Hammered.
Billy doesn't drink.
I don't
So-
drink, but I'll watch Godzilla movies.
That's good. We'll do
No,
that.
you could just say, okay, and that's one for you, and that's one for you.
You can line up the shots and start pouring.
I love the campy ones from the 60s.
Right.
The new ones are good, but I like the
Cheese
campy.
factor. It's
I
just
love
not
the
my cup of tea.
big rubber monsters and
Yeah.
little Japanese.
I think it was interesting in how the trailers all had like Gershwin and opera and all this poetic rising crescendoing orchestral music. So people are like, this is going to be an epic. No, it's a dumb monster movie, but you're just being told it's epic.
Yeah. And Rocket Man, the Elton John biopic, is spectacular.
It was it?
I'm hoping to
I
see that.
loved it.
Who's the? It's
Taron
Taron
Egerton.
Egerton from The Kingsman.
Right.
And Robin Hood.
And Robin Hood, which
And-
I haven't
Well-
seen that version of Robin Hood yet.
Actually, that was good.
Was it good? Jamie Foxx is in that one, isn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one
I did
yet.
see that one.
And I loved it.
Now that we're into, basically summer vacation, at this point, with my daughter's out of school, Ian's just about out of school at this point, I'm getting ready to have less to do during the day. I'm not washing school clothes and things like that. So I'm going to start hunkering in. And
You have your 9 to 5 job.
I have my 9 to 5 job, yes, that I can, but it's not midnight to midnight job.
Oh.
Right?
Not
so
like
I can
when you
sit
come home
down,
at 5 o'clock and
I can sit
do-
down eventually and start watching things that I've been meaning to catch up on this summer.
I have a list of things I can give you.
Oh, thank you. That's wonderful.
Lists.
Lists. Yeah.
You know
okay.
me and my list.
Yes, I do.
I like lists.
Me too.
Then I can cross things
When's your
off.
birthday?
July 7th.
All right. What astrological sign is that?
Cancer.
Cancer.
Okay, so you're not supposed to be as into lists as I am as a Virgo. I'm just saying.
7, 7. I remember that. They're holy numbers.
7, 7?
7, 7, 77. Nope, sorry, 78. I'm not going to get myself old.
7, 7, 78.
But there are 3 sevens.
That's
there.
climbing. That's climbing close too. We're coming up on that in the next
I'm just
couple of
glad
weeks.
you weren't born on June 6, 1966.
I have a
it's 4
friend who
sixes,
was born
so
there.
that would work out because it'd be 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.
Or extra evil.
Extra. Oh well, that's Ann.
The extra sixes
the actual
for 6.
the actual number is 999, but people have just flipped it over to become 666.
Oh,
number
the
of the devil.
theologian has arrived.
So everyone's made 666 evil, but truly it's 999.
Yeah, because you're supposed to see it upside down.
Yes.
Anyway.
Okay.
But, people who are aficionados of the Bible don't actually necessarily have read it. But that's my political statement of the day. Moving on. Today, we're going to talk about some fun stuff. We're going to talk about, we're going to be sharing our top 10 funniest movies.
Yes, we're kind of picking up on the podcast we did a couple of weeks ago when you were prepping for Juliana's ball.
Okay.
Making sure that you're keeping boys away with the baseball bat.
I didn't actually have to.
No?
They were all very respectful.
Well, that's good.
All I had to do was to stand at the front door in my Grim Reaper
you're
outfit.
6'5", so therefore they're
Yeah.
a little scared.
This poor kid. The poor kid who was actually her date, when we were getting the pictures
I
taken
saw
at
the
Highland
picture,
Park,
and he's like,
his
not-
arm around her is not even touching her. And I'm standing behind the photographer going, Tom, put your arm around her. And he's looking at me shaking his head like, no, not a chance. No, got it. The poor kid was just scared out of his mind. But
He's never getting married.
So we're following up when we were talking about Legally Blonde showing up on Bravo's 2007 list of the top 100 funniest movies.
Okay.
And it landed at number 29 then. And
All
so
right.
we kind of said, we should do our top favorite, funniest movies. And hence Billy's comment going, number 29 is not on his list.
okay.
And which made you say Patton?
Yeah.
And then I had to explain the other day that no, it was Legally Blonde that was number 29.
Gotcha.
Whereas Patton is on my list of funniest movies.
There you go.
So we're actually following up more recently for one that we did a couple weeks ago. So I think we're going to be doing that a little more often, as kind of following
Bouncing
up
off
on
each other.
Because I like lists like this.
Lists are going to be fun. This will be good.
Oh,
Let's just go round robin then, like we did with the list that you guys were talking about the last time. So number 10, Billy.
Oh, we're not taking a break for good. I like this. We're just going to go
Let's
right
just
to
run
the...
right into it. Do we need a break?
Nah.
I don't think we
We
need a
could
break.
break like halfway through and
I tell
have
you
us
what,
regather.
if when you're listening to the podcast right now,
If
press
you need
pause,
to take a break,
press pause,
go do something else
go
for 30
potty,
seconds.
grab a cup of tea, or a beer, whichever.
Find your own background music.
Find your own background
Maybe a
music.
stand-up comedian.
Yeah, and then come back,
It's giving Anne a chance to do her list right now.
press play, and you can hear us go to break anyway. Go, go ahead, Billy.
Oh, welcome back, everybody, from our break. I'm going to say number 10 on my list is The Naked Gun. From
Naked
the Files
Gun.
of the Police Squad. Leslie Nielsen,
Yep.
the great actor by the name of O.J. Simpson.
Yes, classic, Shakespearean trained.
But if anybody,
figure.
there was a one-season TV show that no one remembers called Police Squad.
Yes.
Leslie Nielsen, same character, 6 episodes, quickly canceled, no ratings. Somehow spun off into a very, very popular series of movies, the Naked Gun movies. And the first one, to me, is hilarious. They're all hilarious, but the first one is my favorite, of the group leading to a baseball game where Reggie Jackson is hypnotized and the Queen is eating a hot dog.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I'm going Naked Gun first.
Nice beaver. Thanks. I just had it stuffed.
Those ones are always funny.
Yep.
Yeah, that one wasn't on my list, but it is funny. I don't necessarily have them labeled from 10 to 1 to 10.
All right.
that
Well,
type of
what's
thing.
the first one you want to talk about?
To kind of jump off of the Naked Gun series,
Mm-hmm.
let's jump over to Police Academy.
Okay. The classics.
The classic,
I think the first
Steve
one was obviously the
Guttenberg
best.
and
The second one was kind of stretching it, and then 3, 4, 5, and 6 has there
And
been?
11, and I
it's
don't know
just,
how
you know,
many there are.
they
There's
just
a
did-
lot of them.
it's just
But Michael Winslow, Steve Guttenberg, come on, how can you
Right.
go wrong?
it's just the incompetent misfits enter the academy, and they're just trying to survive in there. And
There was gunplay, sir, and he missed it.
So
Tackleberry.
And we were talking about the one actress in there. We just couldn't remember.
In Police Academy?
In Police Academy.
An actress. I don't remember an actress.
Was
Meryl
it the-
Streep?
Was it the blonde?
No, it was
Let's see.
one of the ones that was like just not as confident in the little.
Oh, was it the black lady?
Yes, the little.
Her name is...
I'm trying to look to see who it is.
Marion Ramsey is her name.
Oh, there
Played
it is.
Laverne Hooks.
Laverne Hooks. Because remember, we were trying to remember Cadet Hooks' name a couple weeks ago. We were talking about it. And
I must not have been listening at the time. I'm sorry.
It happens. Happens to the best of us.
I was probably trying to listen to me, but it's just her like sitting there shaking and
And then she busts out towards the end of the movie and she tells somebody off.
well, because isn't she like trying to drive and she couldn't?
I
Was
can't
she
remember.
the one
It's
that
been
was
a long
like
time since
trying
I've seen
to
the movie. I just remember telling somebody
drive
off
the
and being
police
like,
car
"Yeah,
and
now
things
you're
like
getting
that?
there." All right, so we have Naked Gun, we have Police Academy, so we have a very cop-themed round 10 so far. Round 1 we'll go with. And do you have a selection you'd like to throw in here?
Something About Mary.
Something About Mary. That's a good one. The Ben Stiller, Cameron Diaz.
Some of the scenes are just,
They're wrong.
yeah, they're
on so many
wrong, but
levels.
I kind of have a dark sense of humor. So.
Well, yes, that works out. You would be
the
good with the
moose
dystopian
that's in her
nightmare.
hair.
It's the
The
moose.
moose.
It's in his hair and her hair.
Yeah, that's the scene I hope people don't usually refer to, and that's the one they zero in on first, typically. Yeah, it's like,
I mean, the
cringe.
dog, the sunburned lady, the...
We got a
zipper,
bleeder.
The zipper.
The zipper.
Zipper. How'd you get your bean above the beans above the Frank?
Oh my God, it was so bad.
Brett Favre.
Well, can I tell you how awkward it is to watch that movie with your parents?
Yes, tell us.
Tell us.
It was very awkward at that time to watch that movie with your parents.
Nice.
It was the 90s.
Yes.
Well, my number 10 is Major League.
Baseball movie.
Baseball
Excellent.
movie.
Very good one.
Absolutely. Tom Berenger, Charlie Sheen, David Paymer is in that one. No, not David Paymer. David Palmer. I can't. No, wait a minute. What's this?
It's Paymer.
Paymer. Okay, I did get it right.
In fact, Frontier Field, the Red Wings are doing a Major League night
Nice.
with Corbin Burnson is coming to town, yeah.
Yeah.
Rene Russo.
Rene Russo. Absolutely.
Wesley Snipes.
The ever stunning Rene Russo.
Willie
That woman
Mason.
has never aged. Did you see her in Infinity or in Endgame? Because she plays Thor's mother. She's Frigga.
That's right.
She's Frigga. And you're like, I'm looking at the woman like, this woman has not aged ever. It's amazing. She's like Paul Rudd, the female Paul Rudd. It's amazing. You know? But one of my favorite funny movies, definitely. With Wild Thing, you never look at that song the same way ever.
It's a great song.
You know, the arc between Wesley Snipes and David Paymer's character, because Jobu and so you have it's just so much going on, and it really is your typical Bad News Bears, your group of misfits done well. So I love that movie. Anyway, carrying on. Number 9. So go on there, Billy.
Oh, me.
Yeah, you.
I'm going to. It's sort of a double feature because one is sort of a loose remake of the other.
Okay.
What's Up, Doc? From the early 70s with Barbra Streisand and Ryan O'Neal is a remake of the hilarious Bringing Up Baby.
Okay.
With Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn.
Nice. Oh, you went ultra classic. That's awesome.
And there's a couple ultra classics on my list today, so I chose that first.
I was depending on you for that, to be honest. I was looking at the list of like the top 100 funny movies of all time, and I'm like, I want to pick more, but I know I can count on Billy for some of these.
It's just a hilarious screwball comedy. Katharine Hepburn as a daffy, sort of wacky lady trying to hook the man of her dreams, played by Cary Grant, and in between an escaped lion, it's just a comedy of errors, and it's one of my favorite funny movies ever.
I agree. It's a
and
good
What's
one.
Up, Doc is a remake of it in a way. So
With Barbra Streisand.
Barbra Streisand and Ryan O'Neal.
Which, if you follow South Park, I just swore really, really badly.
Oh, really?
That's whenever
I don't know.
when they're talking about their prolific profanity and they're talking about all the really good, like the 7 deadly sins that George Carlin covers in his routine. The last one they always talk about is Barbra Streisand, because the boys who write South Park are apparently not fans. So, moving on.
Well, I'm a fan of that movie,
There
so
you
watch
go.
either of them, but especially Bringing Up Baby.
Yep.
To me, it's actually a precursor to TV shows like Moonlighting.
Okay.
And
That's
in
you know
term-
what? That's a good point. That's a very valid
In
point. I
terms
like
of
that
the
one.
banter back and forth between
Yes.
the main characters. Very funny stuff.
Absolutely. Tanya.
Galaxy Quest.
Nice.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That would definitely be on my list.
Never give up. Never surrender.
Yes. So,
That is a great, and it was funny because I remember hearing George Takei say that it's one of the best Star Trek movies ever made is Galaxy Quest.
And it works as a science fiction.
It really
Yes.
does. It does. How about you, Ann?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nice.
Yes.
What's on your?
All right.
the what?
You was on your list too, I think.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, good.
Guardians.
Yeah.
So in the first round we had a couple of police movies. Now we got a couple of sci-fi comic book movies. Very nice.
The
Very
music
nice.
references really
I was-
throw into the.
I was talking about that this morning. Was
Yeah.
just the music of shows and movies.
Well, for me, number 9 is Caddyshack.
A classic.
Because whenever you hear Kenny Loggins, you cannot throw your elbows in as tight as you possibly can. Just start wiggling like a gopher. It's what you got to do. Because I'm all right. No, what? Okay, fine.
And Chris,
What?
within walking distance of our house in about a month, Chevy Chase is going to be at the Kodak Theater.
For
with a-
Caddyshack.
That's true. That's a thing
screening
that's
at
happening.
Caddyshack. So
Ann and I were talking about that yesterday.
What?
We were talking about that yesterday.
Oh, then he was going to be there? Yeah.
I hear he's a very grouchy man.
He is. He is a curmudgeon to beat the band. It's like,
he's
I don't know.
only grouchy because he just puts that persona on. But I hear he's like when you actually sit down and like talk to him, he's a really nice guy. But he puts that whole grumpy thing on so people don't approach him.
Oh, I see. Okay. But if he wants you near him, then he'll
Yeah.
he'll shoot the shit with you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Look at his imagine how recognizable he is.
I mean, he's only he's twice the man he used to be.
But he will, if you ever watched on Facebook, he will like photobomb people left and right at airports and stuff. Like he'll act like he's all grumpy or whatever, and then people will try to take a picture and he'll jump in.
Okay.
So
He's been around for 45 years.
Plus, yeah.
In the public conscious.
Right.
I mean, before that with the National Lampoon folks, but since 74 was Saturday Night Live.
Isn't Tom Hanks like that also? Like he will jump in and
But the world loves Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Is Tom Hanks is the anti-Chevy Chase. He really is. Tom is just that genial kind of guy. He just shows up in the weirdest places. Like
Hi.
there's a great picture. There's a great picture where he photobombed a guy who was at a bar with his friends for his birthday, and the guy was completely drunk to the point where he was passed out and was like had his head down on the table. And then the friends are taking pictures of this guy passed out with his head down on the table, but there's Tom Hanks sitting next to the guy with his arm around him with the big surprise look, like, hey, what's going on here? The kind of there you get. Tom Hanks to photobomb you when you're drunk. Come on.
Yeah.
That's those you can't pass up juju like that. That's good stuff. All right. Billy, moving on. What's your number 8?
No, back to me
What was
again.
yours?
Back to you.
Yeah, what was yours?
Ann said
Oh, you
Guardians
said
of the Gal-
Caddyshack.
Oh, Caddyshack.
I said Caddyshack.
said
That's what we got
Caddyshack.
the whole talk about. Come on. And you're yelling at Billy
I'm
about not
sorry.
paying attention.
I'm tired.
She's tired.
I'm Italian. What's the difference?
You're a tired Italian?
I'm Italian.
So?
Well, I just added one to my list. Since we're
Okay.
talking about Tom Hanks,
Yeah.
it reminded me of Splash.
Nice.
I
With
love
Daryl
that
Hannah. Very
movie.
good.
Splash is great.
That is a great movie.
Mermaid, literally a fish out of water.
There you go.
The remake was awful, but the original was good.
Was there a remake of that?
Yes.
What was it?
Splash.
Splash. Oh
Seriously?
my God, no. There was
Hold
a
on.
remake, but it was like the guy was the mermaid. Oh, what
A
was that?
bigger splash.
Yeah. Oh,
Are we
it
kidding
was
me on
awful.
this?
No.
No, Tilda or Splash. There was Splash 2.
Who was in that?
It was a TV movie.
Okay.
I'd never heard of any of this.
It was Todd Waring, Amy Yasbeck, Donovan Scott. I have no idea.
Yeah. It was that like
Amy Yazbek. Wow. There's a name I haven't heard in a while. She disappeared.
Turns out there's a whole Splashiverse.
yes,
Hey,
there
look at
really
that.
is.
Splashiverse.
I was mermaid obsessed. you know.
Wow.
Were you?
All right.
he
So,
writing?
Billy.
Splash.
Drop me a
Let's
number
make
8.
it done.
And is that going to be Splash? Is
I'll
your
go
number 8?
Or you're
Splash,
looking
yeah.
at Zachary Quinto?
No.
Where? Which one are
These
you
two are
looking
still
mind.
trying to figure out the Splashiverse over
No,
here.
I have Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad up here.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he's riding a bullet, but it didn't look like that kind of bullet.
That's the whole ring. Yeah.
It's called a rabbit, not a bullet. Anyway. So, Tanya, would it now be a bad time to say, hey, what's your number 8? As she buries her head into the desk.
Let's go Austin Powers.
Lost. Shagadelic, baby.
Since we're on that topic.
There you go. Nice.
They're just stupid and funny.
Yeah.
See, now that brings up a point. Is for me, I try to go with funny. I know there's a couple of movies in here that have a little bit of the stupid funny in it, but like the Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler movies, I don't like them.
Do them.
Yeah,
I don't watch
either.
them. You know, when it's like the Jackass crew when they were making it, it's stupidity, and I don't think stupid is funny on a perpetual basis. Like give me a YouTube video of it, and I'll look like, okay, that was funny.
That's Impractical Jokers for like half an hour is funny when you watch it, but 90 minutes in a theater,
It's just too
can
much.
be tough.
It's too much.
The only movies I've seen of Adam Sandler that I really like are like Happy Gilmore, The Wedding Singer, 50 First Dates, and then Bedtime Stories.
I liked 8 Crazy Nights, maybe because it was a cartoon.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
50 First Dates was all right. The Wedding Singer was all right. You know, I laughed. They were, you know, I was also glad when they were done, and I moved on.
But especially like The Wedding Singer is more of just a romantic comedy without him putting on the goofy voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just okay. And he's got the same voice for every character.
Yeah.
You know, he's not exactly like theater
I didn't
trained,
like
but
what
that's
is
okay.
it, Waterboy and Click and
He's a good dramatic actor when he does it, though.
Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love.
It was a great movie.
Reign Over Me.
actually he was good in Pixels.
I didn't see Pixels.
That one actually wasn't too bad.
Okay.
There was a Seth Rogen movie called Funny People that was a comedy drama. Very good. So.
Yeah, see, Seth Rogen's another guy I don't watch all that much.
Yeah.
I was actually so insulted by Knocked Up that I turned the movie off after 20 minutes. There was just that movie just made me angry with the way that I think it was what it was the way that the Paul Rudd and who was Leslie Mann was playing his wife in that movie.
Yes.
The way she was treating him, it was hitting a little too close to home at the time.
Oh, okay.
So I just shut the movie off. I was like, no, fuck that. I'm not watching that shit. So moving on.
There's one.
Yeah, there's one. We don't have a Spreaker button anymore. We're on Transistor. Ha. There we go. Moving on. So who's next?
Ian.
Ann, what's your number 8 there, dearest?
Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids with Kristen Wiig.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our local girl done right. Nicely done.
Parts of that movie are just wrong.
Parts
Well,
of
I
it are
think-
so wrong.
But I think that's part of the fun of it is that you've got the female comedians who have been
Right.
coming up,
Melissa
stronger and
McCarthy
stronger
and
every
things like
year.
that.
And to have them, it was basically Bridesmaids is the female Hangover, right? And
better.
But better.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Hangover's not on my list either, so it's just one of those things. But I like to see it because it's them saying, no, women can behave badly too. Have fun with it, and being unabashedly just.
And it's like the cattiness and things like that between people that are insecure in their positions of either friendship or their job or they're miserable and things like that. And
Her life.
that she doesn't realize what good that she has.
There were some parts that were really cringy, though, like the wedding dress trying on.
Oh, I know.
I just
and,
couldn't
and-
watch it. Like I was
and
like, oh,
going to poop in the sink. I'm sorry. That's,
Who wasn't laughing hard at that?
but
I don't know. In the
you
dress in
never
the
go-
street to me was funny. She's like, oh, it's too late.
But going to tacos beforehand, that it is like that stereotyping whatsoever that your stomach's going to kill you. So lesson learned: do not go eating tacos or anything super spicy before you go shopping whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be bad.
Yes, it's going to be bad.
And when there's that many women involved, there's always a line in the bathroom.
All right, my number 8, The Dude Abides,
Big Lebowski.
The Big Lebowski. Yeah.
I've never seen it.
It's cult. It really is cult. I got to be honest. I went back and read it. I read it. I watched it again recently, especially because
Parts of it in Thor or parts of it in Endgame.
well, the references, but also with the recent Stella Artois commercial bringing to light Jeff Bridges' character and Sarah Jessica Parker's character from Sex and the City. I'm like, you know what? Let me just watch that again. And I didn't find it as funny the recent time I watched it as I did the first time I did.
I think that's true of almost any comedy you watch.
Because you're surprised by it more the first time, but now you're ready for it the second time, so you're more ready for it, and you're like, oh, and I can think about that a little bit more. But it's still a good movie for being this surreal look at just something that didn't quite fit. The entire story was just like, wait, what? What is going on here? But there's so many different characters and so many different things going on, and it's just a wild ride, and it's still one of my favorite funny movies. So I'm going to go with Lebowski for my number 8.
Okay.
All right.
Is it my turn again?
It's your turn again.
Okay, I'm going to go back to one of my really old ones.
It's your turn again.
Okay, I'm going to go back to one of my really old ones, Singing in the Rain.
Nice.
I brought it up on this podcast in the past, so I'll throw it on this list.
The classic.
Yep, Gene Kelly, Donald O'Connor, Debbie Reynolds. And obviously, everyone knows it as a musical.
Right.
Because there's a ton of songs in it, but it's also incredibly funny.
Oh, yeah.
As the story of people making movies as they transition from silent films to sound movies, and how do you make that transition? And turns out one of the biggest stars of the silent era, a beautiful lady, has the worst voice in the world.
Yes.
And they have to try and dub her vocals.
Like a horrible Jersey accent.
Yeah. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
So it's that movie makes me laugh.
And Donald O'Connor's Make 'em Laugh routine. And when Debbie Reynolds and Donald O'Connor get together for the Good Morning
song,
that's just wonderful pieces. I love them.
There's great musical numbers, but just big laughs when what's her Lamont, the female character is her talking is some of the funniest stuff.
Oh yeah,
here.
I mean it's played for laughs too.
Yes, absolutely.
So, but yeah, that is a great. That is one of the best classic movies
Lena
ever. Lena Lamont, that's the one. How about you there, Miss?
Oh, I'm going to jump off my list because I'm going and perusing here, and I found one that I missed when
Billy, execute Order 66.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Tommy Boy.
No. Tommy want wingy. Anyway.
It had funny parts to it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. You know, I'm sorry to say, I mean, Chris Farley was a huge talent, and in more ways than one. But also, it just ranked right up there with like the rest of the Will Ferrell movies and Adam Sandler movies.
I think that would be one of the only ones that I would like because Chris Farley and David Spade played off of each other.
Oh, they always. I mean, they had like 2 or 3 movies together, didn't they?
That's just one. It's like, do I have a mark here? It's like, like. Because there's a couple one-liners that you can pick up. I mean, not necessarily looking at the housekeeping.
Yeah.
Housekeeping. That type of thing. But to like plot line and things like that, no. But it just like funny moments that would be on a list.
I mean, I do like that when the whole chicken wing thing when he got turned down. He was trying to make a sale at that one industrial place, and he got turned down. He started walking away, and he had that moment of growth finally, where it's like, no, I get it. And he turns around, and you see the character kind of like step beyond what the dumbass oaf that he'd been for the entire movie, and started becoming the person he was supposed to become. Okay, cool, yeah, but you can find that trope in any movie, and. Did it mean more or less because it was Chris Farley? I don't know. I couldn't say. But I definitely loved how he tortured the crap out of Spade. If I got to take away anything from that movie, it's just how Spade's character was just terrorized the entire time. So
yeah.
All right. So Tommy Boy, how about you there, Ann?
Well, I kind of have 2 at 7.
Okay.
Because they're kind of like
similar,
but different.
Coming of age movies?
Yeah, it's 16 Candles and Mean Girls. Part of me was the 16 Candles in the 80s. I was young and dumb. Like, I wasn't even a teenager yet. But then Mean Girls was, I just remember. We always wear pink on Wednesdays. So.
It's the, they weren't the Heathers. What were they called? What did they call themselves in the Mean Girls?
Ashleys.
The Ashleys.
The Ashleys. Yeah.
I was just going to ask if Heathers fits into this.
Heathers is so
a very
dark
comedy.
Yeah,
we did a book club on Heathers.
We did do a book club on
we
Heathers.
did on that. I wouldn't call it on. I don't know if it would be on my top 10. So I don't know.
But it was like I think on this list or whatever. Heathers was one of the ones that was at the end.
So moving on, my number 7 is Stripes.
Oh,
I saw that.
Bill Murray, Harold Ramis. Yeah, it's just I every time I see that movie, I'm laughing from the word go. You can't leave. The plants will die. Stuff like that. These are lines that I still use to this day, just in random conversation, and people just kind of scratch their head. Man, we are in Germany. Yeah, I said that the moment we touched down in Rome one time. Confused the entire senior class at Aquinas. I was like, wait, what? Come on, roll with me. Just roll with me. So, what?
Nothing.
I love it when you cross your arms and just kind of look at me like, what? And I'm like, okay, sorry, I'm conscious of that. So I'm going with Stripes, and now we're back to Billy.
Okay, and since Ann did the thing with sort of grouping a couple together, just mockumentaries in general. There's a
Spinal Tap?
Spinal Tap. Christopher Guest made Waiting for Guffman, Best in Show.
A Mighty Wind.
A Mighty Wind.
Yeah.
All of them are fantastic, and there's a sleeper in the group. A gentleman by the name of Rusty Cundiff made a movie called Fear of a Black Hat.
I've heard of that one. I don't think I've seen it, but I've heard
Black
of it.
Hat, Hat.
Okay.
And it's a rap version of Spinal Tap.
Oh, really?
With NWH. Ends with hats. And this movie, I laughed till I cry watching this movie.
Okay.
But all of the Christopher Guest movies, Spinal Tap is an absolute classic, a groundbreaker. And so I'm going to go just the good mockumentaries right there. So.
Is it true that he's planning on doing one about the Westminster Dog Show?
He did Best in Show.
Was that Best in Show?
That's Best in Show.
Okay.
And that one is hilarious also. That might be the best of the group. Waiting for Guffman is my personal favorite.
See, I'm always going to circle back to Spinal Tap just because of the Stonehenge sequence.
Yeah.
So that's when I'm going to end the whole, the bit about how they're going through drummer after drummer after drummer after drummer, and one spontaneously, combusted or something like that.
And the whole Hello Cleveland where they can't find their way out of the bowels
rock and roll!
of the auditorium.
They can't get out of the freaking basement. Yeah, rock and roll. Come on. I love that stuff. I love that stuff. All right, Tanya. What's next?
It's a toss-up between Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Wayne's World.
Wayne's World. That was easy.
Bill and I know. I'm all about Bill and Ted, really.
So
it was my first TED Talk. It was most excellent.
Yeah. So it's like a toss-up between the two of them. They're both in there. They both have
and they rank right up there in the same spot.
Uh-huh.
I think Wayne's World should have just been a standalone. There should not have been a Wayne's World 2.
Absolutely. Although Bill and Ted's the second one, Bogus Journey.
Yes,
I think that one's funnier than the first one.
I agree.
That's the one where,
and I'm very interested to see what happens when the third one is made in the next year, because they're actually working on the third one. We've talked about that.
And I think it's going to work.
I think it's going to work because I think Keanu's not going to let it suck.
Yeah.
I think the TARDIS needs to be involved in that. Just saying.
The TARDIS.
Yeah.
Because they used a phone box.
They used a phone box.
Yeah. So.
All right. So who's next?
Anne.
Well, my 6 was already used. Was Austin Powers.
Okay.
But it's not as funny and it's not a movie, but that stupid cat show on Netflix is hilarious.
The cat show on Netflix?
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with it.
It's these people who show their cats and they travel all over Canada.
I saw
showing
that.
their
It's a
cats.
documentary.
Yes.
I watched it.
I found that to be absolutely hilarious.
That
I laughed
should be
every episode.
That should be a Christopher Guest movie.
The cat show?
Oh,
I don't know if that's what it's called, but
it's on Netflix anyway. It's
Yeah.
not really a movie, and it shouldn't be in this list. But mine was already used. So.
All right.
Move on.
There we go. So moving on to number 6. Are you ready,
Oh,
Billy?
it's Catwalk.
Catwalk? Okay.
Tales from the Cat Show.
My number 6, UHF.
ooh, Weird Al.
Weird Al Yankovic.
That's goofy. That's fun.
I remember I remember when the movie came out and Dan and I went to go see it in the theaters. And we just, he's been always a big Weird Al fan. And I was introduced to the realm of Weird Al Yankovic, and I just remember laughing my ass off the entire movie. Like, oh my God, I cannot believe that I'm watching this. It's the Wheel of Fish.
And a funny soundtrack, and I'm going to see Weird Al in July.
There you go. Very cool. So UHF is my number 6. And now we're back.
That's weird.
We're all the way back around to the other end of the table again. And Billy, what's number 5?
Okay, I'm going to go with one of my really old ones again. Sons of the Desert, Laurel and Hardy. They play basically Shriners going off on a convention. They've lied to their wives, saying they have to go on vacation for Oliver's health. They have to go to Hawaii, and Stanley's taking them. They lie to their wife. They're going to go to this big convention and party and stuff.
Okay.
And then the news breaks that the plane going to Hawaii is crashed. And the wives think that's the case till they see their husbands on a film reel partying at the in the Shriners Convention in Chicago or wherever it was, and hilarity erupts from there. And it's a classic. It's a Sons of the Desert.
I am not familiar with it, but I'll go back and take a look at that one.
I've got it on DVD.
Isn't John C. Reilly is doing an Oliver and Hardy movie?
They did,
or is it out already?
It was out. It was at the Little, and now it's on Amazon. I believe Stan and Ollie, fictionalized biopic.
Okay.
with John C. Reilly and Stephen Merchant, I believe.
Sounds about right. I think so. I remember seeing the trailer for it.
I do want to see. I'm a huge Laurel and Hardy fan, so I
see. That's what one of the things I love about you, Billy, is that how you appreciate the classics. Everything that came before all of the stuff that we geek out about now.
See, part of the thing is when I was a little kid in the early '70s, we had 3 channels, and they used to show Laurel and Hardy on Channel 10.
I remember
when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
So I used to watch it.
Yeah, you're not that much older than I am.
And I've grown to appreciate all those guys.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Tanya, what's your number 5 there? Oop, as I beat down on my microphone, I'm sorry.
Now we got to start over again.
Oh, my God. There we go. The production value in this place. These amateurs.
Yeah, no kidding. Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, I love that
Somebody say it
movie.
again.
Beetlejuice.
There we go.
Beetlejuice.
Showtime.
So it needs no other explanation.
Michael Keaton at his finest, really.
But I heard that they're remaking it.
Seriously?
I mean, look.
There's a
Let's
musical.
look that up. I know there's a musical. I remember hearing about that because, come on, you don't have a Harry Belafonte routine without having to make a musical out of the movie.
True story.
6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Daylight come and me wanna go home.
Or maybe the sequel. Maybe they're talking about not remaking, but April 2nd, 2019 is Beetlejuice 2. Is that Tim Burton sequel ever going to happen?
Well, what's the article
Probably
say?
not.
Is it yes or no?
Hold on.
I see Stuck in Limbo again. According
Stuck
to
in the
Gizmodo.
afterlife waiting room.
Number 1,000,003.
So yes, Beetlejuice is a very funny movie.
Yes.
And Winona Ryder, very cute, and Jeffrey Jones and Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis is the couple.
Nice.
Very nice.
Well, moving on. So we've got Beetlejuices out there. Ann, what's your number 5 there, dear?
Office Space.
Love it. Love it.
A cult classic.
They actually made the red swing line stapler because of that movie. It was not made.
It didn't exist.
It didn't exist.
That's why it was that was why it was the ultimate prop. But now Swingline got on the ball, clever marketing, and made one.
I haven't seen it.
I think you have my tape here. You have my tape. And I'm sorry to say, Ann, but you don't have enough pieces of flair.
I never will. Unless it's New Kids on the Block flair.
There you go. Okay, so from Office Space, we go to...
I don't get it because I haven't seen Office Space.
See, we'll have to sit down and watch it sometime. I actually think because even as a teacher, you're used to a little bit of a corporate mentality, to a particular degree. You have...
I do see the cubicles everywhere.
Yeah, you see cube farms and you deal with that a little bit. I think your
My husband has seen Office Space, I believe.
And I'm pretty sure it'd be right up his alley. But I think you'd enjoy it sometimes.
It just reminds me of the cartoon Dilbert.
Yes, it's basically it.
Yeah.
Which,
as I believe,
I
believe the guy who drew at Dilbert was one of the people behind Office Space, if I'm not mistaken.
Whereas, I don't necessarily we have our classrooms. It's not cube farms, so it's a little.
I have several cubes. I now take over.
So my number 5 is going to be an escalation. Animal House.
Oh God.
Toga. So,
Food fight!
my top 5 was very difficult to put together because Animal House on several lists is number 1, and I love Animal House, and it's that consummate movie from that era, from the basically from the National Lampoon / Saturday Night Live crew. All right, and there's just so many. The more you watch Animal House, the more you pick up on little complex little things, little
I
nuances
wasn't allowed
and
to
whatnot.
watch it.
So there's the
You're
outright.
still not.
I know.
There's the outright just insanity, and then there's the subtle commentaries and whatnot. And it's like, oh my God, right down to the character in the Where Are They Now during the closing credits, the one guy who got shot by his own people in Vietnam. Stuff like that.
Well, when it came out, I was 6, so it was like a totally different.
Oh, I didn't see it until I was in high school. Yeah, absolutely.
Where did this come out?
1978.
Oh.
Yeah, it came out in 78. I think I saw it the first time it was in 86 or 87 when I finally saw it.
I want to say it was probably later when I saw it. So.
And then, of course, when
All
you're
the
in college, I
spin-offs.
watched it maybe once a month at that point because somebody ended up having to watch it in their room, and we'll all join them.
I mean, but obviously, Belushi was the breakout character.
Yes.
Bluto, but
who had very few lines.
Yeah.
It was
and
all
very
physical.
Small part.
It was just, but when he showed up though, he took over the movie when he showed up, and it was just the physical comedy and the expressions on his face. He could convey an entire scene just by the expressions on his face, and he would do that in just about every piece that he was in. Saturday Night Live, all the other movies, Continental Divide. He was so good with with the eyes and his mouth, just posing his way through a scene. He could make you just crack up just staring at you.
Like John Vernon is Dean Wormer.
Mm-hmm.
He is who they've based that character on ever since.
Yes. If you need that kind of that figure, that authority figure that you're supposed to hate, they're all parodies of Dean Wormer. That's it. And it's amazing. It's amazing with the sycophants and then the people who are just caught up in the insanity, and they want to be with the heroes, but they're not good enough to roll with the A team, as it were.
And even like Tim Matheson, there's just Bruce McGill plays D-Day.
Yep.
Just great characters. It's an excellent ensemble cast.
Yep. And that's why I love it so much, and that's why I'll continue to watch it whenever I get a chance to. All right, we're getting thin on that tote board. Billy, take us into the number 4s.
Number 4, I'm going to go Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Beautiful. That's my number 3, actually.
Oh, okay.
So that's cool.
Sorry.
That's nothing to apologize for. You're bringing up a movie I was already going to talk about.
So, what can be said? It's just ridiculous, but smart at the same time.
Exactly.
Crazy smart, and just what is going on? Why is there a giant rabbit? And the Black Knight is getting his limbs chopped off. It's ridiculous, but it's literary, it's smart, and it's hilarious.
And because we've done a book club on Monty Python itself, it's theater of the absurd done right. And I know, and Tanya still doesn't get it. She still doesn't get it, but that's okay.
Ann and I are shaking our heads no.
And that's fine.
It.
It's not for everybody, but that's okay. I still love it. Billy still loves it.
Yep.
It's half the panel, so that's all that matters. What's your number 4 there, dearest?
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Great movie.
Oh, funny movie.
Hello!
Great movie. When everything is going wrong in the end, and he's trying to play the character in the same, both characters in the same room. He's going back and forth, and the dentures pop out.
In the restaurant?
Yes, in the restaurant, and he's trying to fish the dentures out of carpe dentum. After Dead Poets Society had been just a couple of years earlier, just Robin Williams at his best, just letting him off the leash and letting him play. Yeah, it's just, hot flashes. I've been a woman for one day, and I'm already having hot flashes.
Dearie.
Yeah, it's just a great movie. Great movie. Robin Williams off the chain, just having a great time.
Just the scene of them trying to come up with the right persona for him to be a nanny, housekeeper, that type of thing. It's like comes out looking at like Barbara Streisand, comes out looking like this, comes out. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Ann?
Sister Act 1 and 2.
Woo-hoo!
Nice. Great music.
Yes.
Great music. And I love in 2 when they feature on the kids in the high school.
Yes.
And that you see a young and up and coming Lauryn Hill in action, and just
Whoopi does great.
It's great interaction betwing everybody. Like in the first one, he had the different personalities of the various sisters.
Kathy
Najimy.
Yeah.
I don't remember who played the old battle axe Mother Superior, but she was just phenomenal. She's jigging around at the end. She's like getting into it.
The brothers with the salami in 2 just get me. Like, why are you carrying a salami? I just want to know.
Because they want to be prepared. That's all.
Who knows?
Well, because they're brothers.
But no, it's great stuff. That's a good pick right there.
Yes.
My number 4, History of the World Part 1.
Oh, good. I'm glad you got in Mel Brooks.
Yep, I had to get some Mel Brooks in there because it's Mel Brooks, and there's so much. There's way too much in that movie to talk about in one scene, but there's so many good things going on, and with a great cast, So that's definitely. I can move on really quick.
Okay.
So History of the World.
So we're in our top 3 now.
We're in our top 3s.
Do we need a break?
Let's take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll top off the last 12 movies. Everybody's top 3.
Let me find my music.
And Billy's going to find some music.
There we go.
And there we go. We'll be right back.
A lot of movies I see, it doesn't seem like they care if we can even follow the plot. I'm the kind of guy, I have a lot of trouble with these movies like Jason Bourne, Mission Impossible. I'm the guy you always see in the parking lot after the movie talking with his friends going, oh, you mean that was the same guy from the beginning? Oh, that's why after he stole the money, he had the fake nose and the beard, and then he didn't. Oh! Did you enjoy the movie? Yes, I'm enjoying it here in the parking lot. But in there, I didn't know what the hell was going on. Nobody will explain anything to you in a movie theater once you get confused. What is happening now? Shh. Just pay attention. Why did they kill that guy? I thought he was with them. They had to. Would you just watch the movie? I am watching the movie. I don't understand anything. You know as much as I do. I know nothing. Is this a space movie? Is it a Western? I am lost in this movie. I hate this movie. And I hate you too.
That is so true.
I get that.
Go
That'll
on.
happen at my house often, you know.
Yeah.
That'll happen.
Yeah.
Okay, we're now at our top 3.
We're in our top 3s. This should go quickly at this point. Billy, take us through.
One of the funniest TV shows in the history of TV makes one of the funniest movies, The Simpsons movie.
Nice.
They had a Simpsons movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you have the soundtrack?
No.
Spider Pig, Spider Pig.
Does whatever a spider pig does. That reminds me of South Park too.
Yeah.
Which is funny for me because I never thought South Park they just try to go for the shock factor and the gross out factor, or just the being
Oh my God,
obnoxious.
they killed Kenny.
Yeah, and that. So I was never a huge fan of the TV show, but when the movie came out, I was still living in a house with a bunch of the guys that I went to college with, and so we all went to see the movie together, and we laughed our asses off the entire time, and I don't know what made me more surprised about the South Park movie, whether it was funny or the fact that I thought it was funny. I was at war with myself over that one for days.
And it got surprisingly good reviews.
It did. I mean, it was really well done.
And didn't it win the Oscar for Best Song that
I think
year?
so.
Blame Canada?
Yeah, Blame Canada, not Uncle Fucker. That was that's an entirely different number. Yeah, that was a day and a half.
And by the way,
so-
Spider Pig officially renamed Harry Plopper.
Harry
Oh, boy.
Peter Porker?
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, that's actually a real character.
Yeah, I know. From voiced by John Mulaney in the John Mulaney in Spider-Verse.
But there's a whole bunch of Peter Porker comic books.
Yep.
If you feel like
So The Simpsons is Billy's number 3.
Yeah.
Tanya?
Spaceballs.
Nice.
More Mel Brooks.
I need to find that on DVD. My husband has never seen that movie.
I think we might have it at our house on DVD. I'll look.
Oh, you can borrow Spider-Verse then.
Yes. And there was another one that you had I wanted to borrow.
Legally Blonde?
No, that's on Netflix.
That's number 29.
Would you like it in VHS, Beta, or DVD, or Blu-ray?
And full disclosure, Tanya hit my number 1 with that one.
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, really?
Spaceballs is my number 1.
And it's funny, with all the Mel Brooks classic stuff, that Spaceballs really does resonate. Star Wars parody.
And it's funny. I only saw it maybe 4 or 5 years ago for the first time.
But when you figure, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, there's so many. You see, that's the thing is I wanted to use Spaceballs.
Yeah.
I was going to use Spaceballs to talk about Mel Brooks in general.
Yeah.
All right, but I picked Spaceballs above Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein
It's more of
and
your
Silent
time.
Movie. It's more of my time. It's more the idiom because we're a comic book con, a Comic Con kind of a group too. We're sci-fi and my big Star Wars fandom kind of a thing. But that was my number 1.
They're the best ones because, so I make strawberry jam. So I literally dropped a huge jar of jam the first year I made it. And I'm like, oh, I jammed my radar. and nobody got
would
it
dare
but
give me the raspberries. Lone Star.
No
I'm
one got
surrounded
it.
by assholes.
Nobody got it.
No one got it.
No, you
Combing
will now.
the desert.
Yeah, combing the desert. And then here's
Wasn't that Michael Winslow?
Nope.
No.
The great piece of
Who's
trivia
in
is
there?
the same actor who had the pick is the gentleman who is I can't think of his name at the moment. It's the same fellow who played Tuvok in Star Trek Voyager. Oh my God, I can't think of his name at the moment. Why? Oh, I hate when I brain lapse. It's terrible. Sign of age.
Yeah, I know.
Let's see. Spaceballs cast: Mel Brooks, Daphne Naziga, Rick Moranis, Bill Pullman, Joan Rivers, John Candy.
No, Michael Winslow is the radar technician.
Well, yeah, the radar technician, but
Yes.
I'm talking about when they're in the desert scene, the guy with the pick.
Combing the desert.
Combing the desert with the pick.
Hold on.
Hey, we ain't found shit.
Yes, combing.
Well, obviously, they don't have cats.
Apparently.
I don't
Tim
know.
Russ.
Tim Russ.
We should
I
know
knew it started
because-
with a T. Oh, my God. I hate being old.
He's been in Rochester recently.
Yes, he was.
We should have known that.
Yes, we should have. But we didn't. So points against us for that one.
You are not going to the good place.
I'm not going. Well, I've known that for a very long time at this
Is
point.
it karma?
Yeah, it's caramel.
Caramel?
Caramel karma.
Caramel.
All right, Ann, what's our number 3? Get me out of this.
Incredibles 1 and 2.
Nice pick. I
When
like
did they
that.
change math?
When did they change that?
We were talking about that yesterday.
Yes.
And I think it's just the interaction between the characters that makes it
Yes.
funny. Because I don't think they go out of their way to make a funny movie.
Where's my super suit?
Yeah, it's the one. It's the references and the banter. I think make it just a great movie.
Jack's the best.
And you
Yes.
know, just like 3/4 like
No shooting the baby.
of the movie is like adult humor because that's the only way you're going to get through it.
Subtle comments. Yeah, the subtle
Because
commentary.
the kids aren't necessarily going to understand it, so we are.
Oh, and I just going back to Tim Russ.
Yeah.
Looking through his credits, I'm ashamed of where I know him from.
Oh.
The principal on iCarly.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Now,
that
granted,
was a
I don't
fun
have
show,
kids, but I don't have kids,
That's
and
true.
I still would watch iCarly.
You still watch iCarly
because
with the
it
cat.
was
You watched it
funny.
with the cats. They're your kids. The same thing.
It was
a funny show.
It's a
It was a
funny
It
show.
was a very cute show. It was a very cute show.
So
All right. Well, my number 3 disappeared into the ether somewhere along the line because somebody picked Holy Grail. So I'm going to use this moment to talk about some
One
of the
of your
classic
honorable mentions?
One of my honorable mentions. Some of the classic ensemble goofball comedies. In this case, Mad World,
very funny movie.
which I thought was just a great movie. You know.
A bunch of people try in a race to find like $1 million.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, there's always a race involved with some of these where everybody's coming in from different angles to reach the same prize, like Cannonball Run, the Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise movie.
Yeah.
They're all going in the same direction for the. so
Actually,
you have these-
Cannonball Run is pretty much sort of a remake of It's a Mad
essentially,
World.
yeah.
And that movie, Mad World, has basically everyone in Hollywood in it.
Right. Well, think about it this way: the Peter Sellers movie, Dr. Strangelove,
Right.
is a very similar kind of a situation. So
But just looking at the cast and like literally everyone makes a cameo. There's main characters, Spencer Tracy and Buddy Hackett and a bunch of others are the main cast. But everyone from the Three Stooges
Yep.
to Ethel Merman show up in
yeah,
it.
and that's just it's one of those homages, and everybody's just having a great time.
Yep.
You can tell the script writers were probably they spent about an afternoon and when they were done with it, and then they went and got drunk when they made that movie,
Yeah.
and then they just let it off, let it off the chain and see what happens.
And it was like it's over 3 hours long.
Yeah, but you don't feel it.
No.
I just watched it last year. That's why I'm thinking about it at the moment, and I cackled the entire time, and my kids just don't get it.
Excellent movie. And since you're listening to this, you listen to podcasts.
Yep.
There's a podcast called, it's the two doctors from Mystery Science Theater, Frank Conniff and,
Radio's Frank.
Yeah, Radio's Frank and
TV Frank, I'm sorry.
Clayton Forrester.
Oh, okay.
They have a podcast that I'm blanking on the name of, but one of their recent episodes, they talk about It's a Mad World. So go see if you can find it and check it out. So there's that.
There we go. Very good.
Number 2 for me,
Yes.
The In-Laws. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Alan Arkin and Peter Falk.
Okay.
Alan Arkin is very businesslike. He's a dentist, and Peter Falk he might be CIA. He might be something.
Senile.
No, he might be a bad guy. It's not quite clear, but Alan Arkin's daughter is marrying Peter Falk's son.
Okay.
And yet they wind up in just a scheme involving stolen bonds.
I think I've heard of this movie.
It
I have.
was remade recently with Michael Michael Douglas and Albert Brooks, but not as well.
Okay, all right. That's why I was thinking about it. Gotcha.
But not as well.
Okay.
The original from 1979
is the one to watch.
I still remember going because the poster in the original ad campaign called it the first movie officially for crazy people. And that movie is just hilarious. So The In-Laws from 1979.
Very good. That's a good pick. All right, Ton.
Blues Brothers.
Nice.
Oh, I love it. I want to go home and watch it now.
Nice.
I don't think I need it to any more
106 miles to Chicago.
Blues Brothers.
So 106 miles to Chicago. We've got a full tank of gas, a half pack of cigarettes. It's dark out, and we're wearing sunglasses.
And then there was a sequel, Blues Brothers 2000, where they basically remade the whole thing, but not nearly as good.
No.
Without John Belushi, John
Goodman.
Goodman.
It was a terrible movie. Good music.
With great music.
Great music. I think it was just a way for Dan Aykroyd to have music in video.
Sure.
That's it, I think, is basically
But
it.
the original, I've seen that movie more times than humanly possible.
Oh, it's just that's a classic. I love that one. All right. Go ahead, Ann.
Clueless.
Okay.
Just because it was my era.
Yeah. I mean, Paul Rudd looks the same.
Laura had that on her list this morning. When I was talking to Laura, Laura said Clueless would be on hers.
Alicia Silverstone.
Versus Legally Blonde.
The late
like,
Brittany Murphy. Mm-hmm. Stacey Dash.
Is Stacey
The guys
Dash
from
still
Scrubs.
Stacey Dash is still alive.
Okay.
It's Brittany Murphy who passed away.
The guy in Scrubs is on there. Oh my god,
Yes.
he was hilarious.
I can't think of his name at the moment.
Neither can I.
But
on it.
And then the brother. We all know who the brother was.
Yep, Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd, which
Yep.
he still hasn't aged.
he still hasn't aged. He looks the
hasn't
same today as he did back in Clueless.
I want to know who his dermatologist is.
Was it Brecken Mayer?
Yes, he was in there. No, that's not the actor I'm thinking of that played Stacey Dash's boyfriend.
Jeremy Sisto.
Jeremy Sisto played the guy who was
Elton.
Yeah, he was the one who Alicia Silverstone's character was interested in. Elton, can you suck?
It might be Donald Falston.
That's him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. Just, those hilarious comedies and how she could never drive and
Right.
Reminds me of me trying to learn how to drive in so many ways.
My daughter nearly killed me the other day.
Well,
I need to up my life insurance if I'm going to teach driver's ed to my kids.
My ex-husband tried to teach me how to drive, and then he ended up just buying me lessons because he said he was going gray at 21.
Yeah. Still is. Anyway. All right. My number 2, Dogma.
Okay, you get that one, yeah.
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 The Kevin Smith universe.
Yep.
You got it. You got it.
No.
Too. Yep. The View.
Yeah, Tanya
universe.
still doesn't like that movie.
When I what did I say and you said no to? Oh, Tommy Boy, you're like no.
Yeah, no.
So you're gonna say Dogma. I'm gonna say no.
And that's fine.
But it's the Kevin Smith universe. You're going to watch Clerks. I'm going to make you sit down and watch them all with me in row.
See, now here's the thing. When it comes to Clerks, Clerks 2, Mallrats, I'm
Chasing Amy.
Chasing Amy was a good movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Chasing Amy.
Empire Records.
Empire Records was not Kevin Smith, was it?
No, it's not.
No,
No.
but it follows that same.
It's the same vibe.
Yeah.
Empire Records, by the way, is an awesome movie.
That's very
I
good.
love that friggin' movie. But as far as the View Askew universe is concerned, Dogma was my top end favorite of the Jay and Silent Bob movies. So
Jay and Silent reboot coming out probably by the end of the year.
Yep. That should be interesting to see what happens. Mm-hmm. All right. And that's
Our
it.
top number
Now,
one.
Here comes the number ones.
Okay, and just because it has to be this, it's the namesake of this podcast, even though it wasn't named. The podcast wasn't named for the movie. Monkey Business, the Marx Brothers.
Marx Brothers.
Just the 4 Marx Brothers are stowaways on a ship wreaking havoc, and that's all you need to know.
That's all. There's no script writing involved in that kind of a movie.
It is. I love the Marx Brothers, and sure, it's named Monkey Business, and so is this podcast, but it is legitimately my favorite
movie.
Marx Brothers movie. Duck Soup is great, Night at the Opera, Horse Feathers. But
Horse Feathers.
Monkey
Yeah.
Business is my favorite Marx Brothers movie, and I made it my number 1 because that's where I am right now.
There you go. Good stuff.
Now, when I type in Monkey Business, I get Cary Grant,
They're
Ginger Rogers. Is
Different
that it?
movie.
Different movie.
Different movie.
Yeah.
That one, I think, like a professor, adopts a monkey or turns into a monkey. This one is just the Marx Brothers stowaways on a ship causing trouble. I believe 1932 would be a year.
Monkey Business, Marx Brothers
Sounds about right.
full movie. It is 1931. Pretty good, Billy.
Damn, Billy.
Wow.
You're the man.
So that's my pick.
I love it. That's a great pick. All right, Tanya, what's your number one?
Princess Bride.
Guys, keep cutting me off at the pass. That's phenomenal. I love it. And and we've not a book club Princess Bride, and I will always go on record by saying, and I'm sure there's many who agree, Princess Bride is one of those perfect movies. Yes. The only problem that I have with Princess Bride is that it comes to an end. That's
all good things must come to an end at times.
You got to be able to appreciate it in a succinct package, but still, I love it. Classic pick. Nice job.
Did you see the Deadpool, Once Upon a Deadpool, the PG recut where they parodied Princess Bride?
I did not see it.
Okay.
I heard about it though.
I heard it was very.
It's on
funny.
DVD. It's out on DVD
Well,
now.
I'm going to have to check it out then. I'll add it to the collection. And
Well, my favorite is probably not what anybody would think, but we have to give honorable mention to Planes, Trains, and Automobiles because we have not said John Candy at all yet.
Oh, yeah.
And he is a classic.
That is one. Those aren't pillows.
But so I had to say that. But my favorite is probably the stupidest movie ever created, but it's one of my funniest. It is Joe versus the Volcano.
okay.
Whenever I'm in the worst mood, I just have to watch it because it's dumb and it makes me laugh.
Tom Hanks.
Because I need a brain cloud.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Billy,
Joe
was it that bad?
I saw it at the theater.
Why?
I just did, and maybe I have to revisit it because I do remember it being different, and I've grown in age significantly to the point where maybe I like different better now than I did then. In fact, I know I did. So
It was a little dark, but it had some really funny connotations in it, along with the luggage. Like the luggage always got me.
Was Meg Ryan in that one?
Yes.
Okay.
The luggage that floats and carried his whole life in the ocean with it. It was just hilarious. Anyway, good movie.
Then I'm going to have to throw out The Gods Must Be Crazy.
oh, that's a great movie.
That is a
Yes.
great movie. Yes. That is an awesome movie. The Man with One Red Shoe.
Yes.
Okay. My number one came out earlier, as we talked about. Spaceballs was my number one, which was going to lead me to talking about Mel Brooks movies. So I'm going to pick another Mel Brooks movie, Blazing Saddles, at this point for my number one. But I also have a string of honorable mentions, up to and including Roxanne with
Steve Martin.
Martin, which is a sequel, or no, it's a remake of Cyrano de Bergerac, the classic.
Well, if then
play.
we're going to jump on Steve Martin, Parenthood.
Parenthood.
I love Parenthood.
Is a great freaking ensemble movie.
It's not one of the funniest movies, but it's
That
a
is
sweet
not an
movie.
ear
Yeah.
cleaner.
That is not an ear cleaner.
Have you seen Parenthood?
No, you got to. Keanu Reeves is in it, if I remember
Yes,
correctly.
yep.
These
the-
are before my time.
He's the boyfriend of the daughter.
Yes. Juliette Lewis is in that one.
Who is the daughter? It's someone I know too.
Yeah, Juliette Lewis, I believe.
No,
No, is it somebody else?
I'll look.
Okay.
the girl from Goonies.
Martha Plimpton.
Yes, Martha Plimpton.
All right, that's why I was thinking of Juliette Lewis, because they look similar
Yeah.
at a certain age. Got it.
But that's a very, very good movie.
All right.
That's not the right Parenthood, by the way.
No, that's Planned Parenthood.
Dudum-tsh. What are some of the good honorable mentions? Does anybody have any honorable mentions they want to talk about?
Let's see. I did read. I combined all of my mockumentaries in one thing. Let me, because I cheated. I'm a dirty, rotten cheater.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Dirty, rotten.
Michael
I
Caine.
mean, just Steve Martin in general.
Yes,
The Jerk,
The
as long as
Jerk.
we're talking about Steve Martin.
Yeah.
What else do I love?
Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder movies. Come on, we didn't
Silver
touch on-
Streak, yeah.
Silver Streak.
Stir Crazy was
Stir Crazy was awesome.
actually
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
We could probably get into the whole difference in physical comedy versus.
Yeah.
Let's see, funniest movies on Netflix. Let's see what Google thinks the funniest movies on Netflix are.
Okay.
Hot Fuzz I haven't seen.
Oh, yeah.
Monty
Is that the
Python-
one with Simon Pegg?
Yes.
Shaun of the Dead?
Yep.
Shaun of the Dead is funny.
Hot Fuzz. Yeah, Shaun of the Dead's a great movie. I laughed my ass off.
Did you
during
see
that one.
Shaun the Sheep that they kind of did this weird spin
Oh,
off
I
and it's all
did.
sheep?
I didn't see that one.
Oh, it's so funny. It's a cartoon. It's actually it's
Shaun
like
the Sheep,
claymation.
yeah.
It's like a claymation sheep thing.
Paul.
And
Another good movie there. Paul.
I don't know Paul.
I believe it's a Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, and they're on their way to a Comic-Con, and they run across Paul, who's an actual alien.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking
Barrels. Want to talk
Okay,
dark?
actually, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Bueller's Day Off.
I saw that more times than
Yeah.
I should.
You're here? You're still here? Go home.
Yeah, one of the current movie. Actually, it was a precursor to people having to stick through credits.
Yep, it was one of the original tag scenes. The you know what, the movie, I believe this was researched, the original movie to ever have a tag scene at the end of the credits was Young Sherlock Holmes in the 80s.
I wonder if I saw the movie. I'm trying to remember if I would have stayed through the credits. I'm the type that likes to stay through credits to the very end, even before all this happened. So I may have seen it.
Well, do you agree with our lists or do you not agree? Is there something we have not touched on? Let us know. Post to us on Twitter. Post to us on our Facebook on this particular thing. But those are our 4 lists of top 10 favorite comedy movies and things that we were. And now I'm going to go home and watch all of them.
Good.
Except for Tommy Boy. But
That's okay.
yeah, that's okay. She's
I'm
not going
just
to watch
glad
Dogma.
no one said Napoleon Dynamite.
I can't stand it.
I couldn't understand why people thought that was funny, to be honest.
But there's a group that absolutely loves it.
Yeah. Well,
And to each their own.
To each their own. Everybody gets to appeal to something, or something appeals to everybody.
Unless we disagree.
Unless we disagree, and then you're wrong.
Clue. I totally forgot about Clue.
Clue, yeah, with Tim Curry and everybody.
Everybody. Yeah,
and
well, it was everybody.
So, Martin Mull, I think, is in
I
that one.
love everybody.
Everybody's good. So let's do a quick break, and then we come back. We'll talk about some events. We'll talk about our usual business, and we'll have our question of the week.
Oops. There we go.
There we go.
How about some music?
Yay, music.
I always wish I could be one of those comics who tells jokes like about the president, but I don't know anything. People guilt trip me all the time. Did you see what Bush said today? Did you see his speech? No. How could you miss that? I guess I got more channels than you do, because he wasn't on Nickelodeon. All right, I don't care. All right, I'm watching SpongeBob and I'm happy. All right, I don't care. People make things too complicated. Everybody does. I'm sick of people who read. Because you're just being difficult, you know? Like, you ever go to a movie, you like the movie because it's a movie, somebody's always got to ruin it. The book's so much better than the movie. Shut up, nerd. All right, it's not better. There's a reason why they invented movies, because books suck, all right? Nobody likes to read. It's not 1852, we don't have to read anymore. But there's so much more to the story in the book. Well, I trust Tom Hanks to tell me all I need to know, all right? I don't care. Shut up.
And we do not agree with that gentleman's statement.
No.
I
Although
love
we
reading.
laugh at it. I laughed at it.
I went out of my way to make a reading area in my house so I can start catching up on all the books I've been wanting to read and never had a chance to.
I
There
have
you go.
boxes of comics I haven't read.
There you go.
Me too.
This is a thing.
I don't have boxes. I have 2 comics I haven't read yet.
So we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for hanging out with us this afternoon, or this evening, or this morning, whatever time you happen to be listening to us.
Wow, you definitely had your
I did it.
sexy radio voice
Hello
on.
there. Good morning. Now for the
Don't
sultry
eyeball
sounds.
me like that. Don't look at me in that
I
tone
have
of
the
voice.
side look.
Yes.
Put your shirt back on.
Sorry. Oh, wait, that wasn't me.
It's too cold in here to not wear a shirt.
Hey, Ann, we've got some events coming up.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
You want me to go ahead and talk
Wow.
about those, Ann?
Let's see.
We're so
Let's start
thrilled.
with game nights.
Game nights are happening. They're
Starting
a thing.
Yeah, starting June 18th, Tuesday nights, every Tuesday from 6 until 8 at the 585 Rock and Burger Bar.
Get
And
their
I
food,
think we've
get your
had
games.
a game night.
We may have already had our
We
first
might have
game
had
night at
one
the point where this
already.
is broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
That was last night, I think,
Maybe.
actually.
Could be.
The miracle of radio.
I hope you
This
come
is
out.
what happens when we record a couple
Hope we didn't
weeks in
lose any
advance.
cards.
Yeah, I mean, there's the magic behind it. You know, I hate to show you how, how the
so
sausage
I
is made, but
brought
still.
Uno, I brought Phase 10, I brought...
I'm going to bring What the Fish.
What the fish?
What the Fish.
Now, does card games include Cards Against Humanity, or do we have to keep it
I'm
somewhat
thinking we have to
PG-3?
keep it PG-13 at least.
So apples to apples instead.
Okay.
You know what's funny? What should be rated R, but is actually PG-13, is when high school kids play Cards Against Humanity. Because the things they find, weird combinations.
It's even worse than adults.
Because my daughter had her friends over at my house recently, and they were all playing because they can't wait to play Cards Against Humanity. And the combinations that come up with are silly and funny, but I'm like, wow, you're amateurs. And of course, they, for whatever reason, they all love me. It's, poor souls. They're not that good judge of character yet, but they're like, Mr. Frank, you got to join us. You got to join us for a round. And I'm like, okay. So I sat down and I got dealt in, and then I cleaned off my hand, and they're all, they all finished off, and they're all staring at me, and they all look at Jules. They look at me, they look at Jules, and they're like, Juliana, your dad is awesome. Right?
Yeah.
And I got up and I walked away.
I wish I knew what Cards Against Humanity was. So
Have you ever heard of Apples to Apples?
I've heard of it.
It's basically like Match Game. All right, here's a sentence, and it has a blank, and then so it's out in the open, and then everybody has like 5 or 6 cards in their hand, and they have the fill in the blank choices.
Okay.
So
they put face down.
They all put face down and they enter in, and then the person who's the dealer for that round will then judge and say, okay, in this particular situation, I'm most likely to blank, and then they judge to see which is the funniest one, or the one that catches their attention the most.
So are the answers inappropriate?
The answers can be, in Apples to Apples, the answers can be off base or, kind of a little.
Some of them are inappropriate.
Little funny, but it's basically, shock value kind of being funny. Cards Against Humanity evolved from Apples to Apples.
Oh, you're
because
talking about Apples to Apples.
Apples to Apples is very G and PG rated.
Mm-hmm.
Cards Against Humanity is the same thing, but goes deep into X territory. Like, for instance, here we go. I remember one of them particularly, my entire night was fine until I got hit with a case of
blank,
and the winner was pixelated bukkake.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
So also trying to
imagine. And that's on a card, or you make up your answer?
Yeah,
no, the cards, those are on
these
cards.
are on cards. So you have the question cards.
So I don't even need to use my imagination.
You use your imagination by seeing what fits. Basically, in your warped imagination, you see what fits, and you throw in. You try to be as off color or as incongruous as possible.
And trying to be as naive as I am, not knowing what some of these words are. And I show a card to Chris one night. It was New Year's Eve. He goes, "I'm not telling you what that is."
Nope.
He would not tell me what that particular thing.
What word
I'll
was
tell
it?
you later.
She looked at. Let me just say that she pulled out her phone. She looked it up by herself, and then she started beating on my arm because apparently it was my fault that she drew it.
And I'm just like, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
Come on.
He didn't make the game. He's not the one to put the card in there.
Yes, but I'm going to be Tanya's lightning rod for the rest of my life. Is basically how it works.
So yes, depending on who you're playing, like, this is not a game you would play with your nieces and nephews.
Okay.
Definitely not.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, with a group of friends that...
And there are cards that make you go, what?
That you're comfortable with stepping over boundaries and lines and things like that.
So in other words,
that
that's
you're
our
not
next...
going to get offended.
Is this going to be our next episode of Monkey Business?
We could
do
play a
that.
game of Cards Against Humanity. I think that'd be hilarious to do an entire episode.
Yeah. I'm like, I
basically-
do have the box of cards at home. We can do it. And
As long as Michael Koski's not here.
oh my God.
kicked our
the card that broke me was friction, was the word that had friction on it. That was the one that broke me that night with Michael Koski. And it was, I can't remember exactly what it is, but I died laughing, whatever.
Oh, she lost it. She couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because we had a game night at Knox for work.
Like, for instance, Billy, I looked up. You can look up best Cards Against Humanity combos on Google, and so here's the card. You have my sword, and you have my bow, and you have my blank. And the one that won was firm buttocks. So it's off color stuff
funny,
like that.
Or they could. Yeah.
What helps Obama unwind? Important news about Taylor Swift. My life is ruled by a vicious cycle of demonic possession and daddy issues. These are the sentences you craft. Like, I'm sorry, professor, but I couldn't complete my homework because of blank. And the answer one was a homoerotic volleyball montage. So these are
they're watching Top Gun.
Exactly.
We will not be playing Cards Against Humanity at 585 Rock and Burger
No,
Bar.
so
I will bring You've Got Crabs, though, because that's a fun game.
There you go. Which
another one
considering
that's
what we were
kind of
just talking
fun
about-
is Exploding Kittens.
Yes, it's kind of a good one.
And then there was Babies versus Bears.
Forbidden Island is also a good game.
I will be doing
kind
Star
of like
Wars.
card game, board game.
I will be doing a Star Wars trivia and some Marvel trivia along the way as some
Nice.
fun little games to throw in there. And then our other fun events we have going on is our cosplay karaoke night.
Now,
Again,
remember, for a nice, hefty donation, I will not sing that night.
so
That's called extortion.
Yes. So again, at 585 Rock and Burger Bar from 6 until 8 p.m. And then 8:30 the band comes on. It is a $5 cover charge. Plus we'll have 50/50 raffles and other raffles and just fun all night long.
A tempting dessert table.
Yeah, a tempting dessert table. And then
That's the word that's been used the most, is tempting.
Yeah.
I'm not tempted by chocolate. There's
It
no need
doesn't
to be
necessarily
tempted by
need
chocolate.
chocolate.
I heard
Yeah.
cannolis in play.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
He's like, okay, now I'm tempted.
So then, don't forget that day as well, the 27th of July, we will also be having our mini-con at Grease Ridge Mall in the movie theater wing from 10
You're
until
thinking
6.
Christian wig?
I don't know what I'm talking about.
You're tired.
I am, but
You
whatever.
haven't recovered from the recital yet?
That night, me and Tanya are singing Summer Lovin' at the karaoke night.
Ah,
We're
I
going
love
to dress up as Danny and Sandy.
Wow.
Okay.
Summer Lovin'
Had me a blast.
That's my part.
Oh, Chris, you can take over.
Oh, thank you. This is the part of the conversation where we go ahead and start talking about sponsorships like we always do. And I did the whole big thing about it last week. If you're interested, this is the best time to get involved with this company because we're doing so much and we're getting ready to do even more. If you're curious, write us at sponsorships@fc3roc.org. We have a variety of levels that are already set up, but we're happy to do customized for you. We're not going to stick you in a box if it doesn't fit. So I'm sorry that I'm boring the hell out of you,
No,
Tanya, but I'm just going to say
tired.
sponsorships at fc3roc.org. Patreon blog, we're always going to be having that up. There's going to be a lot of great levels and a lot of great perks. We're going to be redesigning that this summer. But the free stuff, the blog itself will always be available. You're going to have your video game reviews from James Irish, and then movie reviews and comments and book reviews. We're all going to be putting it up there, and that's going to build and grow and evolve as well. So patreon.com/FC3ROC, sponsorships at FC3ROC.org. Be part of the party. We're going to be taking it in some really cool places. And now, onward to our question of the week. Hey, Tanya,
Yes.
assuming you would be unharmed, figure like God mode, watching it as a invincible third party, what fictional event or scene would you wish you could be witnessing firsthand?
I've been thinking about this for a while.
Let me tell you, Billy and I both talked about the first thing that we jumped in, and neither of us actually using it as an answer, is the actual destruction of the first Death Star.
Yeah, I heard
Watching
that.
the X-Wings come sailing in overhead, stuff like that. I think that'd just be cool to see it firsthand. I also, when I was first thinking about this one, was being on top of the Empire State Building when Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan met in You Got Mail. Or is it Sleepless in Seattle?
Sleepless in Seattle.
Sleepless in Seattle is where they meet at
So
the
we're
top.
going real or fictional?
Fictional.
Or
Like the question
fictional?
says, assuming, what
Okay,
fictional event or scene do you wish you could have witnessed firsthand? Should I come back to you?
Yeah, because I went real life. I was thinking like real life stuff.
No, because the
Real
question
life.
it said fictional.
I know, but remember, I wasn't really
And
paying
she's yelling.
attention to the
And Billy,
question.
do you notice how she's always picking on us for not paying attention?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I tell you what, I'm gonna leave Tanya and her bird flipping over there. I'm gonna leave her
Because
for a
if
minute.
it's real or fictional, depending on your
It's already on
bent,
YouTube.
the birth of Christ.
Wow, yeah, that'd be something. That'd be something.
So whichever end of the
spectrum you wanna
go,
go.
you can choose it.
There you go. Billy, let's give Tanya a few minutes. Go ahead and give me what your answer is.
I'm not sure why I would benefit from seeing this, but I want to see Kal-El's rocket crash in Earth.
That's cool. That is cool. The moment that Superman arrives on
Is
Earth.
it the original blue and red rocket? Is it the crystal thing from the movie? I want to know. I want to see
Want to see what it
I want
happened.
to see it unfold in front of me.
That would be wild. That is definitely a good idea. That's a cool one. Anne, do you have one that you'd like to add to the conversation so far?
It's weird, I'm sure. When Frankenstein comes to life. I'd really want to see
Be in the
somebody
room.
like hodgepodge some weird human together and like bring them to life and expect them to be smart because I want to be like, yeah, how are you going to make that?
That's cool.
Should've made a girl.
That's actually kind of cool. I like that. Go ahead, Ton.
I'm thinking now New York City when in Ghostbusters.
Okay.
When everything is being terrorized and the giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man comes in.
That's cool.
We could bring chocolate and some graham crackers.
Sounds good to me.
Oh, that's Ann always seeing the positive of everything. I love
I'm
that.
like thinking, I'm like, what would I? I'm like, yeah,
It'd
you
be
know.
really sticky.
It was either that or the vampire spawns that are flying around in Van Helsing. Mm-hmm. But I just want to be Kate Beckinsale's character.
There you go. That works. For me, it's the Battle of Pelennor Fields, the grand finale of the Lord of the Rings saga, when they're having the big fight outside of Minas Tirith, and the orcs are there, and the riders of Rohan show up, and the army of the dead show up. Everything, this big schmaz in the middle. I think it would be just amazing to see that all in action. My second one is a little bit more innocuous. It's I'd like to be in the room when Harry finally gets his letter. It'd just be sweet to see the look on his face in person when he gets his letter and reads it. You know, when Hagrid hands it to him and says, "You're a wizard, Harry." You know, I'd like to be in the room. That'd be cool.
As long as you don't want to be in the end of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
Going, what the hell?
What the hell?
Actually, new answer.
Too soon.
Yes.
New answer?
The end of The Sopranos, so I know what happens after the screen
After
went
the
black.
screen goes blank, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know what happened. I'm pretty sure. I think I know exactly what happened. Tony had the pecan pie and went home to watch football. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's it exactly.
Don't stop believing.
Anybody got any other ones that they're thinking of now that we're talking about it? No?
I'm
No?
tired.
Yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a fun day, though. We've had a good day. So, as always, if you, dear listener, have something you would like to have seen, hit us up on Twitter, hit us up on the Facebook post for this podcast. Let us know what you're thinking. What fictional event or scene would you want to watch firsthand? I'm also, now that I'm thinking about it.
And you're not injured in the process.
And you're not injured, you remain unharmed. You're just going to get to see it. I'd like to watch a Regeneration.
Oh.
Any of them. Any of the Doctor's Regenerations. I'd be in the room for that.
Ooh, speaking of that, I got Eccleston and Tennant's, all of their episodes in a box set.
Nice.
From Walmart for $20.
Wow. That's impressive.
For my birthday. She hasn't told me yet.
She doesn't tell you.
I'll buy you one for your birthday. That one's mine.
Good stuff. So at this point, I think we can wrap it up for another week.
That.
This has been Monkey Business, a product of the Mighty Monkey Corporation, purveyors and producers of the Flower City Comic-Con, the Flower City Mini-Con, and game nights at the 585 Burger Bar, coming at you like a spider monkey.
And cosplay karaoke.
And cosplay karaoke and all sorts of good stuff. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Patreon, follow us wherever we go, and we will lead you to where the entertainment is. All y'all have a great weekend, and we will see you again very soon. Dum, dum.